Hey, this is Jamey with Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in a 2021 game, Seven Wonders Architects. So this is a completely new game that has the Seven Wonders theme and some aspects that are familiar to you if you know Seven Wonders or Seven Wonders Duel. I played it on Board Game Arena, so I printed off some photos from Board Game Geek that are a little nicer than my screenshots from Board Game Arena. I want to highlight two things about this game. One is related to production, the other is related to a mechanism. In terms of production, I think the game does something really interesting, and I look forward to playing it on the tabletop, in that each player has their own unique wonder to build, and not just their own unique wonder, but they had to create a different die cut for each of these different wonders because you assemble them as you go. So, for example, here's the Colossus of Rhodes, the Gardens of Babylon, and each of these are multiple tiles that are flipped on a certain direction. So you can see, like right here, there's a construction side. This player has not completed the top of their Colossus, but each of these tiles is a separate portion that is flipped over, and on the back side, it looks like it hasn't been constructed yet. And then once you construct it, you flip it over, and it shows up as constructed. And so I just really appreciate that they created all these different unique shapes so that you really feel like you're building your own thing. But and there was an additional cost from them to do this. The die cuts aren't free, but it was also probably cheaper, well, definitely cheaper than them creating like vertical miniatures that you'd have to create to build these wonders, which would have been neat, but probably way over the top. But I just like that they went with a unique shape to each of these unique wonders that you're building, and the idea of flipping a tile over to show that, and having unique art on each side. So on the back side of the art, they show the in-progress construction, and on the front, they show the completed wonder. Just a really nice sense of progress, like visual progress in the game from a production standpoint. The other element of the game that I really enjoyed from the mechanical perspective is how the drafting works. I'll stop holding this up right now because it doesn't relate to these photos, but the way the drafting works in the game is you have a pile of cards on your right and a pile of cards on your left, and then a face-down deck of cards. And those piles of cards, they are decks, but they're flipped over so the top card is revealed. On your turn, all you are doing, other than sometimes building a wonder if you have enough resources, all you're doing is choosing the top card from one of those decks on either side of you, decks that are shared with your neighbors. And so if I choose the top card of the deck to my left, I know that I'm kind of taking that card away from my neighbor on the left. There is a soft level of player interaction there. We are both kind of vying for that card. Either we both want it or we don't want it, and I am taking that card and gaining the resources from it. Or if I don't like either of those cards, I can just take the top card of the deck. Very simple drafting system, but I like that there is an element, a reason to pay attention to the players on your left or right. Like if there's a card that I am going after, that I want, I will also need to pay attention to the other player that is eligible to take that card away because maybe they want it and I need to take it right now. Maybe I can see what they're building in their tableau and I can say they definitely don't want it, and I can bet on them taking the top card of the deck instead, or taking the other card that's available to them with their neighbor. I really like this system. Very elegant, very simple to set up. Like you do have to shuffle a bunch of decks, but each player just shuffles their own deck and places it probably to their right, and then you're set up and ready to go. I think that's just a really clever new drafting system that I haven't seen here, an in-between drafting system. We do have, actually, Stonemaier Games, we have some games called Between Two Cities and Between Two Castles, where you have traditional tile drafting, but you are building things in between the two players. So it's kind of like the reverse of that, where you do have to, what's between you matters, but it's not, in this game, it's what you're selecting rather than what you're building. If you can think of any other games that have this in-between system, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Or if you have any other thoughts on Seven Wonders Architects, love to hear that as well. Thanks.